Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. And in our top stories today, a topic that I have, for the most part, stayed away from because I think what Jeffrey Epstein has done is reprehensible and despicable. And what he was doing, to me, to some extent and to some degree, at least the manipulation and the coercion, is not too dissimilar to the establishment uniparty. And the reason that I make this sort of comparison is because there are people out there, there are commentators out there, I see them a lot, I like a lot of them, I watch a lot of their content, and they have been just preoccupied with such intensity on Jeffrey Epstein and what happened to him, as though the world needs to know exactly what happened. Most people do, and I think for the most part, most people have kind of dismissed the surrounding situation about him. Now, I think all of us can, as I said earlier, can understand that the man was doing some reprehensible and criminal things, and there probably was levels of coverage that he was not getting, I should say, coverage as far as authority. The authorities weren't exactly pressing upon him. And we can see, obviously, who the authorities currently under this particular administration is particularly going after. So the Epstein list itself seems like it's, I mean, to a lot of people, this is like going to be, it's almost like the be-all of naming all these individuals that, say, someone like myself would say, see, here's the establishment uniparty. Here's what they do. Here's what they've been involved in. Because what Epstein was doing was not too dissimilar. And I'm not saying that the establishment is like Epstein or was doing what Epstein is doing, but they still use manipulation and coercion and entrapment of people to manipulate them. And like the establishment, the people that Epstein surrounded himself with were far more willing to perhaps cause harm to him if he decided to utilize that information. But we also see that with the establishment, where they will expose particular people if they don't comply to the rules of the club that is the establishment. So the list is coming out this afternoon. As of this recording, it is currently 2:56 p.m. Eastern Time. So newly unsealed documents from a lawsuit connected to accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein will begin to be released Wednesday afternoon by order of the federal judge in New York. With the exception of two individuals who sought to remain under seal, the parties have informed the court that they will begin filing the unsealed records later today, according to the order from Judge Loretta Priska of the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York. So, like I was saying, the names that people are anticipating to hear and or expecting or wanting to be seen probably won't be on there. And it's important to preface this by saying that there are certain individuals who may have associated with Epstein in a non-Lolita Island Express type interaction. And as I understand it, I believe even Donald Trump flew from one state to another state on his plane, but not to the island and not to engage in any of the activities that Epstein is known for. So these are the kinds of people that will not be on this list. Now, I'm not saying Donald Trump won't be on it, but if the powers that be out there, for example, the establishment and the media, if they can find some way to get Donald Trump's name in there, they will find some way to get there. It doesn't matter. Anything by association that they can come up with, they will. So the identities of dozens of people linked to Jeffrey Epstein are expected to be revealed as soon as Wednesday, potentially removing a cloak of anonymity that had shielded much of the accused sex trafficker's prominent network of friends and business partners from public scrutiny. Again, you're probably going to see housekeepers, landscape, you're going to see all these names that no one is going to know because everyone's expecting certain names. I'm not going to mention who they are. Many of you probably already know who they are. One of them is part of royalty. Another one was a former president. And potentially, like I said, if they can find some way to connect Donald Trump to even having ridden on a plane of Epstein, they're going to do this. So everyone is waiting with, anticipation. People are going live streaming. They're going to live stream all this. And, and I'm not trying to dismiss what the man did. I mean, I think what he did was horrific. And what happened to him in jail is hardly a coincidence. I think that there was some level of coordination. I can't prove it. But the fact that the guards just happened to be asleep and the cameras just didn't work that particular day is more than a coincidence when he expired in jail, I guess is the best way I can put it. But this has not been a story that I particularly found of overwhelming importance. I mean, again, I'm not trying to dismiss what the man did and his crimes and Ghislaine and, you know, his associate that's in jail, because she knows just as much as he. Well, she knows a lot of what he knew. She just didn't have the goods, right? She didn't have the recordings. She didn't have the video. She didn't have the, you know, the leveraging capability that he did. And so my comparison is the same way that the establishment leverages and manipulates people as well to ensure that everyone stays in line with the establishment and make sure everybody's on the narrative. So we'll keep an eye on this. If this is of significance to you, I'm sure you will be there with a bated breath waiting to see this list today. As for me, I'm not anticipating there to be any extraordinary, life-changing, bombshell, earth-shattering information that people haven't probably already suspected. And I'm curious to see how those who are so fascinated by this list are going to react today when there's not going to be anything of any, you know, earth-shattering names on there. I would be surprised if they're on there, and if they are, the media and the establishment here in the States and around the world, the globalists, have already circled the wagons. They've already found a way to defend these people. So it's not going to be some major bombshell type stuff. Plus, the media will distract, and they'll go to other stories. They'll go to other things that are going on in the media, like with Iran or Israel. Anything but this sort of activity that the establishment engages in as well. You guys let me know down in the comments, how significant of a story do you think this is? Do you think this will have any sort of impact in any meaningful way as to who these people are? Because if the FBI is willing to not pursue this with any, you know, measure of authority or other authorities out there, then I'm just not thinking that this list is going to carry as much weight or importance, except for maybe some of the victims. You know, that will maybe be a great thing for the victims of this situation, who I empathize with greatly, because what happened to them is horrific and extraordinary. And so you guys let me know down in the comments how much you have been following this story, if this story is of particular significance to you. But I wanted to cover it because it is a top story for the day. It'll be something that will be talked about today for the rest of the day and maybe in the couple of days ahead. But, you know, people have short memories. We are a social media type society now. So you guys let me know down in the comments. I want to thank all of you guys on New Tech for your guys' continued support into the new year, as well as all of you here on YouTube. That will be the channel icon appearing there on the screen for you guys to subscribe, as well as to select notifications. And I'll see all you guys in the next video.